Raise your hand if you like retellings. Love retellings, and like every kind. Every single kind, like if it's after a classic, if it's after fairy tales, like I like all of them. And when I really like one, like with a specific fairy tale, I will go back and reread it, and I'll do like every kind of version that I can find of that fairy tale. Not exactly obsessed, but almost there, almost. So today, I'm going to be doing a kind of book debate. Two most popular fairy tales that have retellings of them that you find all the time, always, and a lot of different versions, though they can be a lot similar or have their own kind of cliches because there's so many of them and they're always being done, is Peter Pan and Alice in Wonderland. I will read every kind of retelling, but these two seem to be the most read and the most made. Like, there is a ton of retellings for each of them. So I'm only going to show a certain amount of books for them. But basically, we're going to be comparing Alice in Wonderland retellings to Peter Pan retellings and see which one wins. It's like a battle. So first is going to be Alice in Wonderland. So first I have two in the pile that I have not read all the way through. I have started them multiple times in the past and just haven't finished yet. I got distracted or stuff, and I do plan to finish them hopefully this year, but we'll see. So first was After Alice by Gregory Maguire. So this one is an Alice in Wonderland retelling, as you can tell, and it's really pretty. This is its own kind of retelling, like it doesn't follow those cliches I was talking about. There seems in a lot of retellings, specifically for Peter Pan and Alice in Wonderland, that they all, most of them anyway, will follow certain cliches or same things that are all in the others. This one doesn't really seem to have that, so this one I'm a bit more excited for, because it seems like it's a lot more unique and on its own category, even though it's an Alice in Wonderland retelling. Next is The Looking Glass by Frank Better. This is an Alice in Wonderland retelling as well, and this one is actually a series. I think there's 2 or 3 books. I have not finished this one either, though I really need to. This one also is kind of unique as well. Alice travels to another world, and a bodyguard, a different version of the Mad Hatter, has to follow her and find her because they're in the middle of a war. At least that's what I understand so far. Next is Splintered by A.G. Howard. So this one is not really supernatural, but kind of. So A.G. Howard likes to do a lot of fairy tale retellings or different kinds of retellings, but she likes to add extra stuff to it to make it unique, so it doesn't really follow those cliches either. In this one, it's taken to a whole new level. It is awesome. I love this Alice in Wonderland. It's probably one of my absolute favorites. I'm not going to say any spoilers for what happens, but it's some things are added that make it really interesting and stuff, and changes it from the regular Alice in Wonderland retellings a lot, which A.G. Howard is really good at doing. It's Alice in Zombieland, and this one is one that we talked about before with Alice in Wonderland retellings with zombies. This one, however, is not exactly an Alice in Wonderland retelling because it only has a couple things in common with the fairy tale. Other than that, it's like modern day and more like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, but with zombies. So, yeah. And then, of course, is one of my favorites, but not really Alice. It is one of the characters from Alice in Wonderland, though, so it counts as a retelling. It is Queen of Hearts, and it's Heartless by Marissa Meyer. So this is one of my favorites. I absolutely love it, and it tore my heart to pieces. But I bought it, and I still plan to read it again at some point when I feel the need to cry again. Next are some Peter Pan ones. So I have Never Never is a very big one. It's Captain Hook's point of view, and it is his backstory. However, I did try to read it, but I ended up DNFing it. I couldn't finish it. I I had liked the first couple chapters and I was getting into it, but I ended up not doing it. So with Peter Pan retellings, one of the biggest cliches that there is that they want Captain Hook's point of view. It's good in some books, it's done very well, but when they do it over and over again, and that's all they do, it makes me not want to read it. I honestly read more Alice in Wonderland retellings than I do at Peter Pan at this point. Wendy Darling Volume 1 Stars by Colleen Oakes. This is one of her first books, I believe. Colleen Oakes also did a Queen of Hearts trilogy. She's done a lot of different things. This one's a series, but I've only read book 1 so far. This one I did like this one, but it was not a favorite. Honestly, sometimes in Peter Pan, they make the females very stupid. Like, you'll like them at first, for the first couple chapters, but then they just get stupider. And it's all the characters too. So you know how Wendy goes to Wonderland and she takes her brothers with her? Well, in some of them, every single character gets so unbelievably stupid. You just want to skip to the end to save your sanity and not throw the book at a wall. Though some of them do really need to be thrown at a wall. Another one that I liked some aspects of it, but was not a favorite, was Never Ever by Sarah Sadie. This is another Peter Pan retelling, but it's modern day. And this version of Wendy takes her brothers to an island where it's only teenagers. Forever. Yep, that's it. So this one is another one where the characters were extremely stupid and just wanted to lose their dignity. Now the first couple chapters I had really liked them. Okay, however they just lost it from there. They just lost. This also apparently is a series too. I'm going to show you 4 books, but they were done differently than your regular Peter Pan series or your Alice in Wonderland series. So sometimes when there's a retelling of one of them, they turn it into a series and it's just that retelling still. That's not the case with these ones. So first I have Everland by Wendy Spinell. This is a steampunk dystopian post-apocalyptic, however you say that, Peter Pan. So you can tell the Tinkerbell wings from the front. This one is one of my favorites. I loved this one. This is one of the best Peter Pan retellings. But book 2 to this series is Umberland, and it's an Alice in Wonderland retelling. But since it's book 2, it introduces the Alice in Wonderland characters, but it still has these characters and it gives them point of views too. So it's like, it's continuing it because it's a sequel, but it's introducing more and a different fairy tale. Now, actually, books 3 to this series is coming out, or it's already out, I believe. It's called Ozland, and it's The Wizard of Oz, and that one I am super excited for. Sometimes they do that where it's a series of multiple retellings, and those ones are really interesting, especially to see how they tie together. So this one, Wonderland, the first book in the Realm series by Emery R. Fry. This first one, actually, it's a mashup of multiple fairy tale characters, but in this one they go to Wonderland, and it's mostly from Alice's point of view. Though it does have Wendy Darling, it has Little Red Riding Hood, Jack and the Beanstalk, Kai from the Snow Queen. So it has all those characters and their point of views, but mostly Alice's the most, because they're in Wonderland. So this one is the Wonderland retelling, and then book 2 is Neverland, and it has all of their point of view again, and it is the sequel, like with Everland and Umberland, but it's mostly Wendy's point of view, and it tells about her time in Neverland. Book 3 is Enchanted Forest and is Little Red Riding Hood, and then book 4, I believe, is Giant Country, so Jack and the Beanstalk. And Jack the Giant Slayer, technically both, because it's kind of the same. Pan versus Alice in Wonderland. Which one comparing to? Honestly, I think there's more Alice in Wonderland retellings than there is Peter Pan, usually. But Alice in Wonderland, those retellings tend to branch off. So they tend to do all different kinds of things. Alice in Zombies. There is a lot of Alice in Wonderland and zombie books, which I have told you guys previously in a video about. Peter Pan seems to only follow certain cliches of, hey, Peter Pan's evil. Hey, more Captain Hook's point of view. That's it. That's all that the Peter Pan retellings are about. Usually, there have been a couple that I found, like 2 or 3, that were different, and that was it. Mostly, they follow the same cliches. It's like there's a couple things that's different, but it follows the same stuff, and it's just repeated over and over, and it's harder to get into. Alice in Wonderland branches out a lot, with a lot of different things. It's always experimenting, so there's a lot more of those that I read than Peter Pan, which is really unfortunate because fairy tale-wise, Peter Pan's my favorite. I like Peter Pan better than Alice in Wonderland. Somewhat, I really love both. But I really want to read more Peter Pan than Alice in Wonderland. But because it's always the same stuff, and it's always the stuff I'm tired of and don't want to keep reading, then I don't really read them a whole lot. So, Peter Pan and Alice in Wonderland, which one is you guys' favorite? Which one do you read more of? And which one do you kind of get more bored of? Thank you guys for watching. What did you think of the video? What is your favorite fairy tale to read a retelling of? Comment below and let me know some more book debate ideas you guys want to watch. Thanks for watching. Bye!